Greetings, it's game night once again, and we are the game knights that bring the game to stuff.
It's game night with game nights.
I mean, I'm trying to justify the fact that it's game nights, even though we're not always doing games or doing like reviews and stuff. It's because,
review nights.
We bring the game to reviews.
Well,
it's game on.
It's movie night with game nights or Loki night. I don't know, something night. It's It's nighttime outside.
It is.
We're knights. And the only difference is a K. Like, that's the joke. That's the inside thing. Do you understand?
I'm sure they needed that explained.
I'm glad to do it for you.
Now, regular viewers might realise or have noticed that we are missing two of our knights, unfortunately. But, I mean, Nathan has a good excuse. He's getting married tomorrow. Unfortunately, Ben is not with us, not feeling well. And so it's just myself and Oz. But never fear, I think we'll be able to get by because we just watched Loki, episode 4?
Episode 4.
Episode 4.
Episode 4. How many episodes are there in the whole series?
Isn't there like 6?
I hope not. I kind of want like 10.
I can't remember. But, we cover every episode as they come out. We've had a lot of predictions, and this one was easily the most interesting episode.
I'm liking this show.
I would even go so far as to say it could be good. Is it good? Oz thinks it is. I'm not there yet. By far the best episode. Mm-hmm. Most interesting stuff happened. Finally, stuff is actually happening. Mm-hmm. As to it being good, I'm not there yet.
I have only
certainly improving.
I have only 2 complaints about the entire show.
Well, before we go in, spoilers. We're skipping the non-spoiler thing. These are our thoughts on it at the moment.
Well, all that was the non-spoiler. Now is the spoiler.
Yeah, we're going to go straight into spoilers.
Yeah.
And turns out a lot of people who actually watch our reviews don't watch the show.
You guys are awesome.
We love you.
Yeah,
but
mad lads.
For the sake of you guys, I'm going to do a very brief recap of the whole episode, I figure, so you can know what's happened. Previously, Loki and girl Loki, named Sylvie, were stranded in an apocalyptic event. And Sylvie has been hiding out in apocalyptic events because they don't trigger variations on the timeline because any change she makes is wiped out for the apocalypse. The things that are being destroyed, and the timeline just progresses as normal, even so she can stuff around. That's where she's been hiding. Loki confronted her last episode, picked a random event 2 episodes ago, picked a random event. Turns out it was one of the worst apocalypses because no one survives, and so the last episode is them just trying to find a way off and failing. This episode, it begins with them thinking that they're going to be fine. Oh no, they're going to die, sorry. Then something happens, and I'm going to talk about that something because I got things to say about that something that enables the TVA to find where they are. They get saved, they get taken to the TVA, they get interrogated. Finally, they get to reveal the truth about the TVA to some of the agents, that they're not actually created, that they are variants like Lokis. Mm-hmm. Then Owen Wilson has been on the fence. The other TVA main agent that we see, which is 15, the letter 15.
B15.
B15. Anyway, they basically kind of help them, kind of get us.
What does B stand for?
I don't know.
Beatrice?
Possibly. So they kind of get released, yet not. They try. No. Owen Wilson almost releases him, but then they get captured, and so the main TVA judge lady takes them to the time people. Oh, Owen Wilson gets vaporized because they get caught. He tries to help Loki, he gets vaporized for it. Then she takes him to the Time Lords. We see the Time Lords. But then the 15 lady comes in and helps them escape. They fight off the TVA agents. They find out the Time Lords are actually robots. I'll talk about that. And then it ends with Loki supposedly getting vaporized himself because one of the people they thought defeated, the judge lady, wasn't defeated. And Loki supposedly gets vaporized, and then there was another reveal
after the credits.
After the credits, specifically,
he's not dead.
He's not dead, and we'll talk about the reasons why and my feelings on it. So that's the summary, and so now we'll kind of just start with broad, observations. If you want, Oz.
I like it. I've liked the show since the beginning. All right, there's been problems, right, but nothing's perfect. It's a lot better than I mean, is it better than I thought it would be? Realistically, it's better than I thought it would be because
Why do you like it?
I expect... Oh, geez, because I relate so much with Loki.
You like Loki?
Yeah.
So I actually...
No. I relate with Loki because, like him, I'm a bit of a narcissist, right? But I'm aware of it, okay? I play to it.
Oz is most definitely the trickster, jester type archetype. Like Very much so. And I get appreciating or connecting with one thing so much in a show, making me be able to enjoy it, even if it's actually objectively bad.
Yeah.
I kind of like Mandalorian.
It's not objectively bad. You're wrong.
I think...
It's got problems.
It's getting better.
Yeah.
So far, it's getting better. And I would rather a show that starts bad and ends good than a show that starts good and ends bad. Like Game of Thrones. Because that just ruins it.
Oh, man. Dude, hey... PTSD right here for Game of Thrones. I was following that show.
So, do we want to go through a bit of chronologically our issues and things?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So, there's a bit of a flashback with when Sylvie gets arrested, taken by the TVA. And so, Oz's comment on that was that I guess she's not the mum anymore.
She might not be the mum. Probably not. Like, it's very unlikely.
It's much more unlikely.
Especially now that they're kind of like... Loki loves her in that sort of way now.
I was hoping they wouldn't. It felt so cliche.
Cliche?
Felt so cliche.
But the ethics of it is a...
He does love himself.
Yeah, I know.
I get that.
But you've heard the term self-cessed, right? Mm-hmm. I know that's a disgusting term. It makes me feel sick too. But think about it technically, right? Technically, they're not genetically the same. They might be genetically related similarly.
They would be genetically the same.
Well, no, but that's the thing, right? They're not genetically the same because they're man and woman. And they don't share even similar appearance apart from being, Asgardian.
Yeah, there would be a lot of genetic similarities, but...
Maybe.
I would say it's closer than brother and sister.
If both of their parents... So Loki's parents are played by, the two actors?
Yeah.
If they're both the same, like, appearance-wise, like, Sylvie's parents is Odin, the one that we know, right? And the other Frigga, the one that we know, same actors, so they're the same genetic person, then it's weird, because they share the same DNA from their mother and father, right? But they're technically different genders. But if they're different versions of Odin and Frigga, then it shouldn't be, because they're not genetically related. And even if you could say, oh, well, they have similar life experience, well, that's not that bad, just replace Loki with it being another person who lives in Asgard, like... It technically doesn't really break any ethical laws if the parents aren't the same genetically. There's no relation.
This is the thing, okay? I could see Loki falling in love with himself.
Oh, yeah.
But it would play out more like both of the Lokis would be in love with each other. Oh, you're so smart. You're so clever.
I don't think so.
Like, I did think of that. But
I don't think so.
She doesn't act like a Loki.
No, well, kind of.
Come on,
really.
she is not a Loki.
Yeah, that's why I didn't like her in the first place.
And so... I'm not meshing with this connection he is having with her at all. I don't think she's got the characteristics that would make the Loki, fall in love with himself, because she's such a different character with her personality and how it plays out. And so I am not, because at the end of the episode, there's this moment where he actually is about to, it really looks like he's about to profess his love for her. And there is a whole massive plot point that is devoted to this thing that they are liking each other. And we'll come to that chronologically, because that's my biggest issue. This episode is not perfect by a long shot. It's held up on toothpicks, and they try and... Anyway, we'll get there. So, small observation, I guess. It's like, you see the little girl Loki, and then you see her in the TVA jumpsuit. It's like, did they just rip the clothes off? Because we saw how Loki got changed. That's very...
That's not very nice.
That's very inappropriate.
Well, it's a robot that does it. Even then,
I don't think that makes it better.
You can bet Jeffrey Epstein has a bloody camera in there.
I know, they were recording the whole thing, the friggin' sickos.
It's called TV, TV. It's the media.
So, little Loki, okay? You would expect him to be less competent, less capable and everything, and so... I mean, if it's a Loki, I could see her stealing the TemPad, but still, I was like... She, a little kid is doing better than even our Loki. It's like, okay.
And they just let her run away.
Just let her run away?
Surrounded by guards. They just let her stamp the foot, bite the arm, run away.
Where'd she learn how to fight? Where'd she learn how to do enchantment?
I actually know. It was on the site that I was checking before.
Okay.
The Asgardian high school named after the female Asgardian warrior Mary Sue. She learnt from that school. The School of Mary Sue.
Because she's been on the run her whole life, and she's learned such intense, high-powered magic that something that even our Loki doesn't even know. Like, this is a high-tier power that it doesn't seem... I don't know, did she just work it out?
Well, to be fair, she doesn't have telekinesis. She doesn't have image creation. All she has is the memory, apparently, so far.
I guess. Look, I granted this is a smaller nitpick, but still it was rubbing me the wrong way. I was like, okay, Okay, so they talk about the soldier that was,
C20.
C20.
See, I remember this.
You do? I'm going chronologically, so you'll just mention your things if we hit the point?
I've just, I wrote, Timekeeper's scary, grew up in apocalypses, which is pretty metal. I grew up in divorcing households, so it's kind of similar. Make it a joke, it hides the pain. Every time, so basically, you know how he gets locked in the punishment cell? Mm-hmm. And he gets kneed in the balls all the time.
Yeah.
I wrote emasculate 100 out of 100, and then it happened again, so I put it 200 down. The part where Loki goes into the break, like they keep doing these like in-depth character breakdowns of their psychology, which I usually like, but it's a bit wanky in this show because they keep doing it across Disney. But when he's like, "Oh, you're a narcissist and you're afraid to be terrified of being alone, and that's why you want to be the center of the attention," I'm like, dude, is that a personal attack against me? Like. That's the thing, narcissists are the spectrum of like extrovert, the highest end, because they need to be around people, otherwise they literally start to decompose as they're alive, like a bloody Chernobyl burn victim.
I have seen this when Oz does not have enough human contact. Yeah. He starts to fall apart,
wither away and die.
Yeah,
seriously. Yeah. Anyway, and so one last thing. So,
I have something as well. Sorry.
Loki gets sent to this other reality at the end, in the after credit scene. So does that mean that somewhere there's a reality with just tons of Owen Wilsons there? They're all just saying, "Wow, wow, wow." No, you're doing it wrong. It's wow, wow, wow. You got to use your entire mouth. It's like imagine like it's like
I can't do it. I can't do it.
Wow.
So I would like to point out officially and publicly that Oz was wholly and categorically wrong, that he committed to very, very strongly in our last episode review.
Which one? Which one was? What am I wrong about this time? I say a lot of stuff, Shad. Which am I wrong about this time?
Oz was very, very convinced that it was Owen Wilson's Morbius's plan to recruit Loki to help subvert the TVA, and that he was in on it from the beginning. We're gonna bring it up. Do you want to do the magic, Oz, to show us we're gonna do the magic to show what Oz was saying in the last review?
I think that Owen Wilson might be an inside agent. I think he chose Loki for a reason.
See, I disagree with you there. I think at the moment he is fully drinking the Kool-Aid at the TVA, but Loki is going to reveal the truth to him and try and recruit him to his side.
Maybe Owen Wilson chose Loki because that's his mum.
Mm-hmm.
Can I make a little prediction too?
Mm-hmm.
I think Owen Wilson, when he was like saying, "No, Loki, don't go," I think he was trying to get Loki to go. Because think about it, if you're going to tell Loki to do something, what's the last thing he's going to do?
Nah, I don't think so, but...
I think it was. Because there wasn't any indication that he was going to go.
Yeah, because it'd be so consistent with Loki's personality.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay. But I'll be right. Watch a week's time, 2 weeks' time. It'll come in an episode. I meant you to do that, Loki. I wanted you to get on the inside. There you go. I've studied every point about you. I know you do the opposite of what I say. I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
Look. We're not all perfect. I mean, I am, but...
So I'm only pointing this out so, prominently, because in that same last review, Oz was saying I was wrong about everything.
What did I say you were wrong? What?
You literally said I was wrong about everything, and that you were right about everything. So
I say that all the time.
So I was like, mental note time.
I say that all the time.
Because it is revealed, Owen Wilson's character Morbius finds out that, he is a variant, and he wasn't in on it, and his world is falling apart, and he starts to help Loki. And at no point is it ever revealed that he was in on it from the beginning, and he recruited Loki to try and help subvert the TVA.
Sure. Congratulations, Shad, you're a prophet.
I feel so much...
Excellent work.
Fulfilled. I feel elated.
You feel...
You. That's technically correct. I just felt us.
I just felt the presence of Harvey Weinstein. His spirit looms over this place now. Just keep bragging, Chad. Gee.
No, we can move on. But you just be careful now, mister. Whenever you say I'm wrong about everything and you're right outside, it's like, that'll just, it's like, all right, I'll need to put Oz in his place one more time, mental note, and I will be watching you like a whore.
Every time I say something like that, it's a joke. It's an honest joke, but it's a joke.
No, it's not. See, this is the thing. Oz, that's his defense, right? Because he knows if he actually is right, he'll never say it was a joke. He meant it 100%. He'll double down on it.
But here's the thing. I don't, lord it over people forever. I say it like one time.
Oh, yeah, I won't be doing it forever. Just for this episode right here.
Unless it's Nathan screwing up that first recording.
Oh, yeah, totally.
That's the one thing I'll hold over him. Everyone gets one event I will remind them of. I'm like a bad conscience.
So interesting that the conversation with Sylvie at the beginning, it has large implications about timeline-y stuff. She says that she was born as a girl and it took a certain amount of time and she says to cause, this isn't word for word, but effectively she says, to cause a big enough detour from the sacred timeline that they destroyed her reality. So a couple of things. This does actually, and I'm man enough to be able to admit this, Oz, when I see something that Oz is wrong, but even when I see something that means that I was getting things wrong, man, right, this does seem to fall into Oz's theory that the sacred timeline can contain more than one timeline in essence.
Now, you know how you were before?
Oh, hang on.
Gee golly, I'm shocked that I was right about something. Now I'll be a massive dick. That's you 5 minutes ago.
Stop screwing the table.
Stop screwing the table.
Yeah, you were like, that was very much like you were trying to screw the table. Thing is, though,
Oh, well, if I want.
I am a very big man about this because I'm the one actually. You didn't even pick up on that.
Pick up on
I
what?
told you
Pick up on what?
that this actually is indicating that there is more than one timeline.
Well, no, I was right about that this whole time.
You wouldn't have picked up on it though. I'm confirming it to you from something in this episode.
No, you weren't confirming it to me. What the character and the TV show told me beforehand at the very first episode confirmed it to me.
Which was contradicting a lot of things that they
No,
already
it didn't.
said.
You're just being obtuse about it.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Wait.
What?
I'm helping you out, you idiot.
Oh, strange way, huh? I'm helping you out, you idiot.
I am not, too much like what is it? I'm not. I'm getting tongue tied, but I'm easily man enough to admit that I'm wrong when I'm wrong, and so it seems like Though
I was wrong, you idiot.
But actually, I think you're still wrong in part.
How?
Because that is a variation, a divergence from the sacred one central timeline.
Yeah,
and
but
so
it's multiple
I'm still,
timelines into it.
I actually don't think that if you go back to the beginning of time that you have multiple timelines that they're working with.
That's you presuming that they all started from one Big Bang event.
Yeah, it is.
But maybe they don't. Maybe they have their own individual Big
That
Bangs.
they just, it gets to a point where they separate.
No. Not that there's one source universe they all come from and split out, but they have their own Big Bangs.
Yeah, possible.
Like
possibly.
their own separate universes.
Yeah, that's one way to do it. I think they shouldn't have, because, again, I don't think they're going to actually clear this up. I think they're not going to address it.
They already have. You're just like, they come from one source.
No, because this is me actually filling in I'm connecting the dots for the writers. They've only dropped a couple of lines. This could just be them contradicting their own narrative, and we'll see later on. We'll see later on if they're consistent with this, because they could drop something that contradicts your theory entirely.
Maybe. Again, if you say they're contradicting themselves over and over, what's to stop them doing it again?
Exactly, and there is a big one coming up, actually a huge one, which most of this episode is founded on.
Oh.
Okay, so you know all those time bombs she sends back in the past?
Yeah, what the hell happened with them, huh?
It's all fixed. Okay.
No, also, right? If she did do the time bombs in all those places which reset time, wouldn't they just reset them to what they were supposed to be?
Well, that's the other criticism people are saying. It's like, reversing how these reset bombs should work shouldn't work the way that how could they cause a variant, like a variation?
It should just send the variant things into these little pocket dimensions.
This actually goes into the main criticism I'm going to have with this episode, where they decide something will do something because reason, and there's no logical through line to actually lead you there.
That's
in actual
contrivances.
fact, exactly. The actual, if you were to follow the logic of how things should operate based on the laws you're setting up, you wouldn't reach that conclusion. And so these reset bombs, to think that you could reverse their effect to cause a variation in the timeline when they've previously established a variation from the timeline is a different set of events. Something that's caused something to change differently. And so were they actual literal bombs that she sent back in time to explode in certain key locations, which would cause a variation of events?
And if she is, she's a terrorist and I don't like her.
And so we aren't giving the information. It's just here they do this because they do it. And it's very unsatisfying and it's unintuitive. And you're like, huh? Because we aren't given the explanation that these reset bombs could actually explode. We don't know how they operate. And so, anyway.
You presume that they do the same thing every time.
Yeah, and but the show just says it does this because reasons, and it's unsatisfying. It's a small one, granted, because we don't actually know how these reset bombs work, and so there is a way you could world build a way to do it, but they don't go there and things. But the next one, the main issue that I'm talking about, is a criticism that's in the same vein, but it actually contradicts how they've set up how variations and Nexus events are supposed to work. But we'll get there. Okay, so first big critic. Well, I guess we're kind of here. The Lokis are stranded on the planet, okay, and they're about to die.
Yes.
And so, in the previous review of the last episode, all of us guys actually came up with a couple of creative ways that they could have gotten out of it that's consistent with the world building.
Yes.
And
what were they?
So one is that they could cause a small change. If they get even one person to survive that apocalyptic event, if they survive or anything like that, that would be enough of something to cause a Nexus change that the TVA would then register and then get picked up. Another explanation is that Loki actually has, the thing on him, the
time stone or space stone,
time pad.
He already has it. Yeah.
That was an illusion. And I did go back to the last episode. I thought he handed the broken one to her, and he never did. She never touched the broken one, so that could have actually been an illusion that he drops on the ground and everything. And he had a fixed working one, and it was all a manipulation by Loki to get her to reveal what she knew. I reckon that would have been perfectly in line with his character. Would have worked fine. Loki could have had Time Stone or
Space Stone.
Or Space Stone. And so at the moment, we are given no explanation of his telekinetic ability. He just has it because reasons, and that is insanely inconsistent power progression.
Yeah. And hey, they could have even still kept it what if he did have the Space Stone or the Time Stone managed to stop the planet? That would have caused a massive spike, and then they still would have got him. That would have been
exactly.
Could have done both, but whatever. I guess we're not writing it, are we?
Yeah, well, exactly. And so they instead went with the laziest way of doing it, which was Deus Ex Machina. They try and explain it, and their explanation is my next biggest issue.
Well, did they explain it? They showed it, but they didn't explain it.
They tried to explain it that there is a massive Nexus event that is created before this apocalypse, right? That the TVA is able to detect, and that's how they open the portals, come and save them. And so it literally was the most pathetic kind of explanation that we spoke about in the last episode. If the TVA just magically appear and saves them, it's going to be so horribly written, Deus Ex Machina, and that's exactly what happens in this episode. And
and it's kind of a predestination, or it might be predestination paradox.
Well, this is the thing. They then try and say, there's a mystery. What caused the Nexus event that they detected? And so they want to find out. That's why they don't clip them, destroy them straight away, and they end up negotiating. And so there's actually a significant plot point in this episode to try and explain how they detected them. And the reason they give is laughably absurd.
What is the reason?
They fell in love.
Oh, I don't think it's that.
Owen Wilson legitimately says that. He when he's negotiating.
I was listening.
Well, you totally zoned out in that because he literally says that's what causes the Nexus event, is that a Loki falling in love with a Loki, and this is the criticism and thing reveal that Loki actually loves Sylvie and stuff, and he says that was such a straight out of the ordinary thing that it caused. Because they actually point out this is a strange Nexus event. Instead of going off on an angle, it's going off on almost a 90-degree angle. It's going up almost. It's such a significant change in timelines or whatever that it got predicted. Or got detected, I mean.
Why don't you just tell me what caused the Nexus event on Lamentus? You like her. I mean, no wonder you have no clue what caused the Nexus event on Lamentus. Both of you are just swooning over each other, I guess. Two variants of the same being, forming this kind of sick, twisted romantic relationship, that's pure chaos. That could break reality. It's breaking my reality right now.
And the reason why this is laughably absurd, right, is that the logic that that Loki establishes should technically still be in place. That even them falling in love, right, would have been wiped out from the apocalypse. And there would have been no continual change from the timeline. It would have caused no branching timeline at all.
That's why I'm saying it's more likely a predestinational paradox.
How so?
The reason that they were found and saved is because they were going to be found and saved. Think about it. The reason... That's what a predestinational paradox is.
No, but they don't...
It takes away from the idea of the timeline itself, but still it makes more sense than life.
That means they were just fulfilling something that was already supposed to happen.
Exactly.
And it would not have caused a variation from the sacred timeline. And
That's
they wouldn't
why it
have
takes
been
away
detected.
from the timeline.
And so the logic that they establish as to how they detect variance, how branching timelines works, and how any event you do before an apocalypse will wipe out any potential change that you make. So what they fell in love. If they both get just wiped out and killed by the apocalypse, that's gonna not, like, that should not have been, they're contradicting.
Maybe the timeline that's being affected isn't the one that they were in it's the one that they came into.
How?
No, I'm saying maybe the timeline that's being affected by what happened there isn't the one that they were in and saved from, but the one they came back into. Did we see it get reset? No.
Well, logically, they don't need to. Well, this is the thing, because technically the apocalypse should reset everything, and so there was should have been no way to detect them falling in love to cause a Nexus event.
Again, that's why I'm saying predestinational paradox, because either way you look at it, it kind of is, unless it was love, which is the dumbest.
No, that's it. It's legitimately love. That's
what
the
they're
answer.
saying. But unreliable narrator this entire time, hasn't it been?
This one, no, because Mobius was speaking honestly here. No,
regardless of what he was speaking.
But this is the thing. I bet. I'll put money on this one. The show thinks this is a perfectly adequate explanation.
Just like
and
you
they
put
will
money
not...
on the other thing I was
No. Hey, I've been right a lot already, okay? I have been wrong, but I've also been right all about
Which one were you right about?
I was right about Mobius not wanting to be, that he was fully indoctrinated by the TVA.
To be fair, right, all of these are responses to my theories. I said maybe Loki, maybe Mobius.
Hey, even calling you out of being wrong on something means that I'm right in something. Okay?
Yes,
that's just how it works.
But only reactionary to me, which means that I'm the real force of nature here.
I was certainly expecting the Time Lords to be, something behind them or fake or something.
Yeah,
like that.
something silly about them. But did you say it?
I don't think I actually said it in the video. But this is the thing, right? As soon
Then
as
we shan't count it.
Well, look, fair. But as soon as they walked into that, room and you saw the Time Lords, it gave off such Wizard of Oz vibes. I was like, oh, they're totally fake.
They were kind of freaky when it showed at the beginning, but when they showed it the second time, I thought that the main one looked like the actor who's playing the old Loki.
You reckon?
I thought that's exactly what I thought.
Well, we'll come back to that one because there might be more old Loki things. But literally, right, their explanation for how they are saved is love.
That's their explanation, but again, they've done unreliable narrator this whole time.
That they're not going to address it again. They think this is again, remember my prediction? I was saying I'll put money on this one. Sure. This is the prediction that they will not address that variant, or give a different explanation to it. That this is going to be the explanation. It was love.
To be fair, you've been pretty, not bad faith, but you've been very uncharitable with this show the whole time. I've been very charitable.
Yeah. And I think that has skewed our perspective and
well, at least mine uses a mechanic of time travel though, which is a predestinational paradox. The fact they were saved because they were going to be saved.
No, but I've already explained that. If that was the case, they wouldn't have caused a variance thing because it would have just been fulfilling what needed to be fulfilled, like the Avengers did, so they wouldn't have been detected. So even if it was a predestinational paradox, like you're saying, it wouldn't have caused an alert on their detector.
Well, then how do you go all the way back to the Loki grabbing the Tesseract thing? Because this will be a recurring thing. There
are clearly changes in their timeline that they're okay with, like from the Avengers. Okay, so if
but they're not changes; they're meant to happen.
Exactly, and so if this was meant to happen, it wouldn't have appeared as a change, and they wouldn't have been detected, and they wouldn't have been saved.
Time travel, man, you go insane trying to. Think
No, this one's pretty easy to follow, I find. And
I'm not as big brain as you, Shad. Slow down, use small words, please.
I'm sorry. But the thing is, they spelled out how the apocalypse works, that you can hide within an apocalypse, okay? And there is nothing that happened with them falling in love with each other that would have subverted that explanation. That explanation, for all intents and purposes, should have remained true, and they should not have been detected at all. But they just wanted a reason, so love. Their detectives could detect like the love for. It was just so dumb.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't like it.
Oh, hey, look right there. It says Oz was wrong. Big exclamation
yes,
points. Jeez, he's really happy about that.
I just wanted to point that out. I wrote it down, ready to really.
What was it? What was
that
it?
was I already.
No, what was I wrong about? The Owen Wilson.
Yeah, where they reset them all the time, like that. You were saying he meant to recruit Loki.
Yeah,
that was the thing I already.
Okay, what's the next one?
Okay. And so it's interesting when Loki is first getting interrogated after being arrested, right? And he says, like, he has one line thing to say before he's sent off to, he doesn't know where, he thinks it's going to be hell or whatever, and he says, the TVA is lying to you. Now, we know from the meta of the show is that he tells them later they wanted a better reveal that, you know, you are really a variant. He wants to tell Morbius this. But Mobius, whatever.
Morbius is the vampire.
Yeah. Who's the guy from The Matrix?
Morpheus.
Mobius,
Morpheus, Morbius.
Yeah, right. But in the actual context of what should have been going through the character's head in this moment, this was his last chance, according to what could be through this door, his last chance to say anything to Loki.
Yeah,
and
sure.
so,
But it wasn't, though.
The thing is, though, from Loki's mindset in this point of the story, that's what he should have been considering this. And so, of course, he would have said, you're really a variant.
Yeah, but it's just a contrivance, you know, and it's not even...
The contrivances aren't good, Oz.
Yeah, I know it's not good.
Point him out.
I'm just saying this is a really small one. It's like, of all the contrivances they've had so far...
It's small, but it's not... That's still annoying me. It's like... First I was thinking, why aren't you saying the obvious here? And, of course, later on, it's revealed why, because they did it later.
Yeah.
But still, for everything Loki should have known at that point, that's obviously when he would have said it.
Well, I mean, like, you know, who's to say you wouldn't have done the same?
No, I would have said the most important thing because I could be dying when I go through this portal. Obviously.
Maybe.
See, stop trying to give it a pass and doesn't deserve a pass.
No, I'm telling you it's a contrivance.
Yes, good.
It's one of many.
Yes, bad.
Yes, contrivance is bad.
So, we will get to some points that I actually give the show credit to.
Okay, sweet.
Because there are some times where it improves. Okay. So, I was first wondering, why aren't they just disintegrated? Why are they punished? But it turns out they want to interrogate him, and the reason why they're interrogating is to find out how they cause the Nexus events, which ends up being love, which is so dumb and everything like that. But, okay, that explains why he gets sent into a time loop, which is just a form of torture, really. And, look, that's in the TVA's playbook, granted.
To be fair, it's a torture of his own making.
Yeah, you know, like, it would have been fun if he actually managed to recruit Lady Sif.
No.
Like,
well, it wouldn't have been a time loop then. Then that's a contrivance, isn't it? No.
Well, it looked like they legitimately set him back in time. He has the confrontation with Lady Sif. Granted, where was the original Loki if that was where Loki was standing? And so, is it like it was a red portal, not a yellow one? And so it could have actually been more of like a hologram.
Well, might have just been a recording.
Yeah, exactly, like a recording. And not actually sending him into that point in time in the past.
Why did he try to leave that place? It would have been cool to see him like run through one.
What if he just like exactly was like, why do I have to stay here?
Yeah.
You know, he could just try and leave. But no, he decides to just sit there and take it.
Maybe he's into CBT.
You know.
You know what that stands for?
So, no, I don't. And I don't want to know.
Ball torture.
Okay.
Some people are into that sort of thing. Don't know why.
Random question. Have you ever been dreaming where you've realised you're dreaming?
Yes.
And then,
dude, my dream.
And then you realise I can do anything that I want.
Yes.
And you just cut loose.
Yes.
I've done that too.
I do that a lot.
And so if Loki, I'm just wondering, if Loki legitimately figured out that this is actually a projection, a hologram, it's not time, and you do everything he wants, it's like, he doesn't need to be respectful of Lady Sif. He doesn't need to take it. He could just throw her off a balcony or something.
No, he couldn't, because Lady Sif is an actual warrior.
Yeah, she's probably tougher than him.
She'd kick his ass.
He'd
make the torture worse.
He could have just left. But,
could he have?
Well, that's the thing.
Exactly.
Show us. Like, if he tried to run through a door and he comes in the other door and he can't
That would have
escape.
been cool, like Pac-Man. I like that.
You know, they did it in Thor Ragnarok, where he's in the...
Matrix too, yeah.
This is
It's a freaky circle.
It's like a circle, but it's a freaky circle.
That was the worst Kiwi accent I've ever heard. That's the first time I've ever heard
I take that as a compliment. Yeah, so again, I've already, like, I have a note of, again, the next event, because then that gets the actual scene where, you know, Morbius, Laudius is like, you like it, you love her, that's what caused the Nexus. Is like, yeah.
I don't think so. I think that's dumb.
It is dumb. That's what they said, though. Do you want to do that?
Unreliable narrator this whole time.
No, Mobius, whatever, right? From the point of character, it is very likely he's being truthful here, because
yeah, sure, he might be being truthful, but he might be wrong. Notice there's this recurring theme with the show where they say things in previous episodes and they show the opposite.
Only on a number of things, a couple of
only
things.
Since the very beginning of the show.
No, of a number of things. We could actually count them off, okay?
We could.
So TVA is actually evil. Obvious.
Yeah.
Right? Remember, I was saying I hoped that they would do that, and I'm glad
That's
they have.
a pretty big one, isn't it?
Yeah. And look, we were very clear that this very well could have been, and I said I thought that they would actually make them justified because of what they've been doing, but I said I didn't want to be right about that, and thank goodness, because the TVA has been getting even more evil. Like the fact they're kidnapping children and wiping entire and this is also like Lady Loki, whatever, Sylvie, says they destroyed her whole reality, and that's not like just a local event. So anyway, there's that. There's that they're not really dead or disintegrated when they're thing. Time Lords are not actually, Time Lords. Anything else? We're given nothing to contradict.
Oh yeah, the people aren't variants.
People are variants. Okay, I think those are the main ones. We have been given nothing to contradict the world building.
So there's been 4.
Yeah.
And what episode are we on now?
Episode 4.
So there's been one major thing every episode.
Possibly, but we have been given nothing to contradict the world building they established about all the other realities being wiped away and formed into the one timeline.
Well, we got all that information from.
We're given nothing to contradict that the Time Stone, the Infinity Stone, should have power back in the normal world, and people are already speculating that.
Not yet.
We are given no explanation about the love thing, and I don't think they will give us an explanation. Well,
he's a narcissist.
Like the show has already shown that they are fine with giving explanations that don't make sense with hand waving and expecting the audience to not think about it much. And they're relying on that.
Apart from the love thing, which one?
The apocalypse thing. Okay, because one, the love thing contradicts the apocalypse thing. Also,
I said with that. Apart from that,
the reversal of the time bombs and making Nexus events, then they really shouldn't.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, maybe we're yet to see the outcome of that. Maybe.
No, they're just going to leave it.
No, you can't just say no. They're not going to do that.
That's my bet. That's my bet. I bet they don't. I bet they don't address it. Yep. These are ones that I give Oz power to call me out on and lord it over me. Okay?
I'm not going to. I'm just going to be like, you're wrong, and then I'm going to forget about it.
Okay, we'll see about that. He's not. So
far.
So there's that one. They're not going to give any explanation on that. They're not going to give any explanation on the love thing. The love thing, like the next event that they caused to save them from Lamentus. Mm-hmm. That's going to be explained perfectly fine. They're not going to give any explanation on the telepathy, the higher power telepathy that Loki has. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, it would have been nice if he had an Infinity Stone, but
that would have been cool. Yeah.
They're not going to give any explanation on that. Those are the main ones. I think those are 3 big ones, and I could find more because I don't have all the episodes in my memory. But I bet I could find more things that I've called out on. And this is the standard that I've already noticed in the show, where they're happy to give half-hearted explanations where they honestly don't make sense, and they are expecting the audience to not call them out on it, because they do it all the time in stuff like this. It's like what they did in WandaVision, okay? Where they tried to brush off the fact she enslaved an entire village by the line, they'll never know what you sacrificed to let them free. And they actually unironically think that was a satisfying explanation to justify all the crap. It's like, no, it's not! And that has already set a pattern in my mind, and they've already started to show it in Loki in multiple instances. Where
I haven't seen it, so I can't comment.
Well, now I'm going on to the examples in Loki, and that's why... All right, take me to the bank on that. Call me out if I'm wrong. You have every right to, but at the moment, that's my...
Okay.
Okay?
Again, I am enjoying what I can.
Yeah,
contrivances
that's fine.
that I see, I'm like, yeah, those are contrivances. But I hesitate on the big things and the contradictory things because we're yet to see the show completely out. Especially since it's about time travel. You know how finicky these things can be. Like if you stopped watching, what do you call it? What's that Predestination movie?
Predestination?
Thank you very much. If you stop watching that halfway through, you're going to be like, oh, well, that makes no sense, doesn't it?
So they're starting to make 15 into a character.
Yeah.
I wasn't as annoyed about it. I think, hey, you could give her some depth. She's been around enough that,
Yeah, no doubt it's the most one I liked her, but she's still a Mary Sue.
Well, yeah, she's always, beating up her. Like, I still don't like the fact that, she beat down Loki when she's, like, a mall cop, essentially. Like, the TVA should be mall cops. Like, now we know that they're not created with training.
Regular humans.
They're regular humans.
Yep.
And what, are they able to download training into their head, when they replace their memories, they replace, training stuff like they do in the Matrix.
Yeah, I know Kung Fu.
Just...
No. You know what? It's not that. It's a little memory implant called MarySue.exe, and it's an executable Mary Sue file.
And so that character has an uphill battle because of I've hated how much she acts so superior and Loki's pathetic and all this stuff.
When she showed some vulnerability and some doubt, that's when I liked her most.
And now, I was like, okay, they're trying to actually do something half interesting with her.
That was interesting. I liked it.
I'm pointing that as well. It's like they're actually doing something.
We agree. Something we're both right on.
The thing is, though, it hasn't gotten rid of the sour taste in my mouth of what this character's been doing so far. It's already, and so I'm less inclined to like her and to be, yay, good for you, you're helping out the good guys, because she's been such an absolute. And so it's one of those things like, oh, you want me to like her now? And maybe if they're trying to say it's like it was all the TVA making her to be such a jerk, and then maybe.
No, it's just, it's the TVA making her a jerk. To be fair, though, you make her a mall cop, give her power, of course she'll be a jerk.
It was this episode where I'm willing to acknowledge that there is something that is working in favour of the show and why people are going to like it. It has a good mystery element where you do want to find out the answers to stuff.
Just that? I kind of like a lot of things.
That's one thing.
One thing?
The next thing is that I was almost going to give it credit for having balls, but then they jumped off and, when they, if they actually killed off Mobius and Loki.
Oh, no, I wouldn't have liked that at all.
Oh, well, see, I would have been like, at least they've got balls, they're doing something,
I would have given them that. They would have had balls, but I still wouldn't have liked it.
I wouldn't have thought that Loki would have actually got... If Loki actually... Say, Loki actually died, I would expect Tom Hiddleston to come back as a Loki from another timeline. Maybe they just go back in time to
Same
when...
thing with Mobius, same thing. Yeah.
They get, they go back in time to Lamentus and save him from being arrested by the TVA, and they have essentially the same Loki, just from a variant timeline that only happened a little bit in the past ago, so Loki comes back. Or it could have been Oz's theory, is that Loki is actually the one who has created... A variant Loki is the one who created the TVA in the first place.
Yeah.
And he's the one behind them.
And even then, Loki's powers is to make things disappear, So maybe that the staffs are his power, And like you said, when he first got arrested, this place is an illusion, it's a trick. All of this stuff that's being edited might be a greater trick from Loki,
Possibly. I am not 100% on board with that. I think it's a possibility. I wouldn't call it as that.
I'm here to speculate crazy theories. If I'm wrong small. If I'm right big.
And then he'll lord it over us and say, I knew it 100%!
Yes, I will.
So, because that was one of the other reveals. And so there was a number of good reveals in this episode. So they're actually pushing things forward. I like that. This is why this episode is usually the best so far. And it's that they go and see the Time Lords, and as I mentioned before, as soon as we saw them, I was like, oh, this is totally Wizard of Oz. These guys are fake.
Wait, the first time at the beginning
intro?
The
second time.
Okay, yeah.
The second time. I was like, yeah, these guys are totally fake. And so when she throws the thing in it and the head falls off and it's a robot, it's like, oh, I am so surprised. I did not see that coming from a mile away.
I had a flashback to when Kylo Ren killed, what's his name? When Kylo Ren killed what's his name? Snoke. I was like, why does that remind me of that,
I don't know.
I don't know, flashback. PTSD.
So now it does raise the question who created the TVA, and at the moment it's like Kang the Conqueror.
Or Loki.
Or a past Loki, is Loki, what Oz is thinking. I would like it if it's someone completely different, not unexpected, surprise. Something what would be great is if it's someone we're not expecting, but would make total sense to have created this.
I'd prefer it to be Loki himself. Because think about it, that way it's Loki who's creating his own bloody prison, his own illusion. It'd be the perfect thing.
See, to me, that would be unsatisfying because he's just gone to whatever place they go to when they get melted or disintegrated, and heaps of Lokis are there.
Exactly.
And so now it's like, it's going to be like, oh, it's just another Loki.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Nah, see, it's like...
Falls in line, right? The TVA, they can wipe people's minds, right? Mm-hmm. What was female Loki's power? Messing with memories. Mm-hmm. You know, their thing is to make people disappear. What did Loki do with the Tep Pad? You know, it's like there's some theme going along here.
Be unsatisfying to me.
I'd like it.
Too obvious and generic. I would like something that I wasn't expecting, but would make sense.
Well, so far he's found the love of his life. Why not his greatest enemy, himself, which has been himself the whole time throughout all the movies, you know?
See, what would be fun? Who could it be that would be actually make it more interesting?
No one.
Well,
apart from maybe Heimdall.
No, what if it was, all right, so, you know, in Ant-Man, they go to the quantum realm to save the mother. What if it's the mother, a variant of the mother?
Why would it be her? They're not connected
because the
anyway.
TVA, I reckon the TVA is in the quantum realm.
Why do you think
and the reveal will be, it'll be in the quantum realm. Because when Ant-Man is in the quantum realm, okay, there's actually a scene where you see like a bubble and there's a city in the bubble. And she said, and the mother says there are civilizations and peoples here and stuff. And the quantum realm energy, like when you see the car, when the energy is flowing off, it's all golden yellow energy. And the energy that the TVA is all using is golden yellow, and that seems to be the color of the energy of the quantum realm. And it seems like your ability to manipulate time in the MCU is directly from the quantum realm.
Yeah, that's true.
And the quantum realm has no limit on space, and it's not really bound to the same laws of physics, and so you could have kind of this weird, you know, universe of buildings in the hidden in the quantum realm, and no one would be able to detect it.
Yeah.
The snap didn't affect Ant-Man when he was in the quantum realm.
But it did go through the quantum realm. You saw the effect of it happening.
It didn't affect him, though.
It didn't, but you did
and
see
so this could explain why the Infinity Stones don't have any power there, because
maybe.
That could be a through line that they could follow. And so I reckon one of the reveals will be the TVAs in the quantum realm.
But it's a
Let's
pretty...
see if I'm right about this one.
And I appreciate the fact that you've gone out so far left field for the TVA leader, but like... There's nothing pointing towards her.
Yeah, I know. I don't think it is her. Yeah. But I'm saying I'm trying to think outside the box. What would be an interesting, unexpected...
Loki himself.
...controller of the TVA? It could be introducing a new villain.
A new Loki.
Yeah.
I'd like it because then he's found his love and his greatest enemy in the same thing.
Look, I'm saying that it could be Loki. I wouldn't like if it was. To me, it's too generic. I
like it.
King the Conqueror is
who the hell is that, you know? I don't know Kang the Conqueror.
He's going to be the villain in the next Ant-Man movie. The next Ant-Man movie is called the Quantumania. And so it's all going to be about the quantum realm. And so, yeah, Kang the Conqueror is supposed to be the villain. And if the TVA is located in the quantum realm, and Kang the Conqueror is the one that created it, and he's going to be the villain in the Ant-Man movie, which is called Quantumania, there's a bit of a through line there.
Did in the comics, did Kang create the quantum realm?
I can't remember. No, not create. I like
okay.
No. But he uses time travel. He's like a villain that uses time travel.
Okay. Oh, he does use time travel.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought he was just some dude who was real smart.
No. Do you want to look him up?
No.
Okay.
I prefer my thing is...
And so there were some good twists in this where, hey, Owen Wilson gets fried. And before I knew that, he's most likely alive, I was actually thinking, hey, they did something ballsy.
Yeah, but I was sad. I love Owen Wilson in this. I love Owen Wilson in general.
Honestly, his character is probably one of the better ones, like especially when he starts to figure out that Loki's right and things, and he seems competent enough. And so I agree. I was actually enjoying his character.
I love that dude.
But so the question is, right, if the disintegration, if only Lokis survive it, and because at the moment it seems to be the only indication of people who live in this apocalypse are Lokis that he gets sent to, because there is a scene from a trailer where he's surrounded by, I'm not sure if you've seen the trailer, it's not a spoiler because it's in the trailer, but he's standing there and he has like vote Loki or something on his thing, and it's surrounded by what look to be other Loki variants, and then everything is trashed around him, so that really looks like it's in the same world that he just went to.
Do you know what might be funny? What if that's the universe where he won? I don't know. Just a speculation.
Well, the question is like, this could reveal that maybe there are other multiverses around.
They've been saying it the whole time.
No, they're not.
Yes, they have. They've said, but the entire time there's
No,
multiple
the entire
universes.
time they've been saying that they've been preventing multiple universes.
No,
That's the
they've
purpose
been
of the TVA.
Then where did Sylvie come from?
Is that was a variant that they clipped and it doesn't exist anymore.
But they said in the second episode that the timeline bombs are localized. They're not entirely universal.
No, because trust the whole clipping, the pruning thing is that they wipe out those variant universes. Their whole purpose is to prevent them.
It's a localized reset.
Yeah, because their changes only happen locally, and then that just brings the timeline back into the regular one, the same, and it becomes the sacred timeline.
But why is there multiple Lokis then?
Good question. That was a criticism I had in the second episode.
My explanation is that there's multiple timeline universes they manage, and they consider them the sacred timeline because they all fall upon the same series of events they want.
I think they're not even going to address it, and you're going to have to just rely on unconfirmed headcanon to try and explain it.
It's not unconfirmed headcanon, it's the explanation they gave
That's totally unconfirmed headcanon.
Let's read the comments about this, huh? Okay, guys, here's a thing directly to comment about. If you made it this far, do you think it's multiple timelines all organized into one where they follow the same dictation of the TVA? Or it's a complete cluster F? It's a complete flustercluck. And
hey, what's the complete... I'm not saying it's a cluster.
No, you're saying, why do they keep contradicting themselves every single episode with this explanation that makes no sense any way you look at it?
Because they don't understand their own world building.
Well, there you go. So there you go. A flustercluck makes sense in that regard, yes?
No, because if we were to go off the information that has been revealed, I said there seems to be some allowance for temporary alternate timelines. Because Lady Loki says that... Where is it? Could it say me? That her timeline didn't cause a big enough detour from the sacred timeline until she had grown up somewhat. But
she asked, what did I do for this to happen to me?
And they couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I don't think
the girl
it was.
The girl said was basically explaining that her timeline was able to exist temporarily alongside the main timeline until it changed enough that the TVA came in, kidnapped her, and then she said destroyed her entire reality. That entire timeline of her Loki
it might just be
gone.
her personal, like, you destroyed my world, you know? Might just be that. Women are like that, aren't they? So emotional.
But the world building, from my understanding, has been pretty explicit that the TVA is wholly active in destroying any other alternate reality.
Then why is it local?
That's a good question.
Again, it's like, my question is more...
Remember, that was my criticism, because if it was wholly local, when they grabbed our Loki and reset that thing, they didn't reset New York, where he disappeared from.
Yeah.
And unless they went to New York as well and did another reset bomb, but that's headcanon, me filling in the gaps for him. But the locality actually contradicts the resetting that happens with Loki. And so again, the world building is very inconsistent.
Well, it seems like all the the bomb things, right? They do the same effect as the stick that sends you to where he went, right?
Yep.
So what if all of the aberrant stuff, like the Avengers Tower, all that, it all gets sent there, which explains why
everything's... You're pointing to things they can't see.
I'm pointing to the screen that shows, well, this is what it is, bam. That's what you're seeing, that's what I'm pointing at, right? So where all the destroyed buildings are, they're all bunched up together.
Yeah, that could...
aberrant stuff
everything gets sent there. Yeah, that
Yeah.
could be an explanation. But it doesn't explain that if the reset bombs are local, that it resets New York, because it wouldn't have reached New York. And that part in New York would have needed to have been set as well, because that's where the variation first started.
Maybe that's what that tower is over there. The Avengers Tower.
I don't think they're going to explain which specific building comes from which specific timeline, but they could say that this is all their random crap that comes out of them. Because the question is, where is this world that they've just been sent to? So we've already addressed that they killed Morbius, and not really killed him, but it could be that only the Lokis are able to survive and go to this thing, and he's actually dead. I don't think so. I think it's too early for Owen Wilson to disappear. They're going to have Owen Wilson still in this series.
He will say, wow. At least he will.
I don't think he will.
No, I think he will. He bloody better. Dude, it'll be the after credit scene of the final episode. That's what it'll be. It'll just be him.
So, there is a question, And sometimes the show tries to answer questions like this. For instance, how are they saved from Lamentus? The question is, like, why didn't they kill the Lokis? Because supposedly the Time Lords wanted to interrogate them for some reason.
Yeah.
But now the Time Lords are dead, it raises the question, like, what do
They're not dead, they're robots.
They're real rails, yeah. Like, what do they really want with Loki? The girl Loki and the guy Loki?
Maybe it's Loki.
Actually, that maybe he wants friends. He wants to get them on his side. I don't know.
There was some weird stuff with the symbols, right? Here's what I saw when they went to there. There's weird stuff with the symbols. That symbol that's on the wall in that place looks very similar to this thing on screen right now. That symbol right there, the O, right? And also the fact that it's like there's like mist and it looks like it's a freezer in there. And who's a frost giant? Loki. And there's stairs everywhere, which is probably how his bloody mind works. They're all twisting and stuff like that. I don't know. I think it might be Loki. Maybe.
So, small nitpicks, but still nitpicks. When the Lady 15 or whatever, B15 comes in and lets the collars off so they can't be reset. They can then start to fight back. They start to fight, and Lady Loki lets the judge TVA agent pick up a stick when...
Yeah.
It's like... You could have just killed her right then.
Well, she wanted to know, what did I do? And the girl said, yeah, I don't remember. But she gave the smirk, the knowing smirk. Everyone knows what the knowing smirk is, right? She does remember. But the most painful thing she could have done is said, I don't remember.
I didn't like it.
You didn't like it? Well, again, like if you said, I'm about to die, please answer this one question for me.
She didn't say that. No, when they're actually fighting.
No, but the reason she didn't kill her is she said, you're going to tell me everything. That's what she said.
Is that what she said?
The girl said, do it, right? Kill me. And she's like, no, you're going to tell me everything.
Okay, that explains it. I missed it because I was being too annoyed by the fact she let the stick in. But
you are getting too annoyed by this, aren't you?
I am. Hey, see that? It's a good example of when I'm proven wrong and I accept it.
I guess it's a bit of a back and forth thing. That's my phone, isn't it?
Yes.
This will be in the thing just to show my mistake. I am so sorry!
So those are all the kind of notes that I had about it. Most interesting episode so far, as I mentioned in the beginning. Loki's not really dead. He's in an interesting world, and so this is what people will be loving about Loki. Okay, is the supposed reveals, right? And that it's hooking them in to want to know what happens next. And that is the show is doing good at creating an air of mystery that. It said things that were incorrect because it was later revealed, they're all variants, and then the TVA is actually evil, thank goodness. And the Time Lords are actually robots. Who's really behind the TVA? Who created it? And, so people will be wanting desperately to know the answers, and that will cause more interest. And I reckon the public response to this episode is going to be hugely positive. Overall, Angry Joe is going to give it a 10 out of 10.
I don't know. I haven't been watching his reviews. Have you?
No, I actually haven't. I should catch up what he's saying. But he gave one of the first ones like a 9 or 10 out of 10.
Who cares what Angry Joe thinks?
I care. I like you, Angry Joe. I don't agree with you all the time. I like you, though.
I don't like Angry Joe that much.
I don't like his Twitter hot takes.
I don't dislike him. I just don't really care. Same with the quarter.
You're ambivalent.
Thank you. Ambivalent. Indifferent.
But yeah, especially... I reckon there's going to be a lot of people who didn't watch the after credits thing, and they'd be like, Loki's dead! And they're all going to be like, ah.
Maybe. And if that's the case, you should wait till the end.
I have learned that, this is going to sound really condescending and arrogant, but there's a lot of audiences that will be happy with the smallest little breadcrumb.
Breadcrumb?
Breadcrumb.
Breadcrumb?
Bread.
What are you putting in that bread? That ain't yeast.
Shut up.
I was out of eggs, I'm sorry.
Shut up.
Needed the protein from somewhere. Okay, go on.
They're happy with the slightest little breadcrumb, even if it's in a heaping pile of crap. Because, there were so many problems with The Mandalorian, but they got Luke, and they will love it forever.
Spare me the bloody... Oh, no, that nostalgia. Here you go, take it. Give us money. Give us money for the nostalgia. You know how we destroyed this franchise? We give it back a little bit, we'll take your money.
John Favreau had to really fight to get that in, and it had to be like a secret. And so he was legitimately trying to do something positive for the fans, and good on him for doing it. But still, Like, I enjoy The Mandalorian. I thought I didn't think it was good, but I enjoyed it, and that's the difference. Where I'm willing to acknowledge that it's actually pretty bad, but I could still enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm the same thing with Loki, but it's not as bad as Mandalorian.
Mandalorian has some big issues.
Lots.
But everyone was praising it like it's the greatest thing ever.
It was Star Wars on TV. Let's not get
because it was they got little breadcrumbs in it. And to me, this episode is like twists, and it's like even though
I kind of like it.
You're more than free like it, but I get why you like it because you can.
Why don't you want me to like it?
You like the Loki character. I've never said you can't like it.
I love Loki's character. There's only one thing that a narcissist loves more than himself. It's other narcissists.
I don't think so.
No, I think so.
No, I've seen narcissists go.
Oh yeah, me and Ben do go at it, don't we?
When they want finding something. Anyway, you play it up a bit. Oz actually has a humble streak that he doesn't like to.
Well, that's the thing. See, I'm so much of a narcissist that I've actually done a feedback loop. Oh man.
So yes, those. That's what this is.
Yeah. What?
Loki episode 4. I'm more than happy to admit it's gotten better. Mm-hmm. It'll be great if it gets even better.
Betterer. I think it'll get more betterer. Bettery.
Doesn't mean this episode's perfect. And my big issue, I want to double down, is like that whole love saved them.
That's stupid. That's why I think it's a predestination paradox.
That's
because here's the thing.
That's crap for the writers, Oz. Stop creating headcanon and saying that's it when there's no confirmation of that it's being it.
I'll show you headcanon.
No, you're just trying to do the job for the writers because you're overly sympathetic to the show. Because
I did that the first time, and I was right. Damn it!
Except you were wrong about so much.
You know what? Outro now.